Let's break down what we just saw. It appeared after the winning team celebrated, the man in green unintentionally knocked down the opposing player's paddle. And when he noticed it, he bent over to pick it up, realizing the error he had committed. And when he did, he was kicked in the face and knocked out completely. We now have footage that led up to this moment. Here that is. The assailant would be called for, ironically, a foot fault. He reacted in disbelief. Once again, the man who would kick his opponent was called for a foot fault. It was the final sequence of the match, which meant they lost. Here is what we know thus far. Via ABC Australia, the tournament's location was in Mexico. Specifically, it was the men's advanced section of the Quintana Roo International at the Pickleball Club Playa del Carmen. I promise I am going to have a good ending, okay, to this story, so buckle up. The winning team consisted of Peter Schank, who was kicked in the face, and his teammate Sylvain Bouchard. The Kitchen Pickleball's William Iliff spoke with Schank, who gave this quote: "I was just fired up after the win. I went to tap his paddle, and it fell out of his hand. I immediately bent to pick it up for him, no bad intentions, but what happened next shocked everyone." Per the outlet, Schank was unconscious for about 3 hours. He suffered memory loss as well from the kick. Peter would eventually go to the hospital. His wife, Claudia, would write on Instagram, "I seek above all to raise awareness about physical aggression and take this situation as an example to better handle situations. If you represent any sports club, this should be part of the water to somehow improve the regulation or implement actions that can help us know what to do in such a situation. I hope they don't run for anyone. Preach no violence above all. I also believe in continuous improvement and that we can do it better." Which leads us to this. Peter has chosen not to press charges against this man. He'd give this quote as well: "I have a family, 2 healthy businesses, and I play pickleball for recreation and challenge. I don't have time to waste with this guy." TMZ also says the assaulter will likely be banned from all tournaments moving forward. Now, I told you that we would have a better ending. And a story that also involves pickleball is this.
San Quentin State Prison built its reputation housing criminals considered the worst of the worst and once had the largest death row in the country. Convicted murderers, drug dealers, and rapists are still serving lengthy sentences.
I'm serving a 15 years to life sentence for murder robbery.
I'm in here for 20 years
for 3 counts of attempted murder.
As the incarcerated attempt to make amends for their crimes, San Quentin is on a new path toward overhauling correctional culture, one whack at a time.
And we love the sport so much. We love it.
That place in my heart.
Yeah, everybody's getting so addicted to it.
Pickleball, the fastest growing sport in the U.S., is also breaking out in prisons.
Actually, my whole incarceration, I avoided sports because that's a potential point of conflict that could lead to an act of violence.
But pickleball appears to be a positive force with no drawbacks or division, bringing rival gang members, even the warden, together for an unlikely matchup.
I was not allowed to hang out with different races due to my gang history. So now I get a chance to break that barrier.
The power of sports is prevalent, including in San Quentin. All the credit goes to Roger Belair, this man right here. One night, he said that he was watching 60 Minutes, and it was a piece about the Cook County Jail, which I've actually been to, and it is tough as hell in there. That was actually a school field trip. Could talk about that another day. So he saw this piece about Cook County Jail, and he said, all these inmates are just like watching TV and playing cards and just sitting around. And he discovered pickleball. He's in his 70s now, I believe. Discovered pickleball, and basically he said, I want to bring this to that prison. I believe in the sport. I believe in how it makes me feel. It makes others feel. I want to do it. His wife would give him the old, like, okay, honey. And so he wrote up a letter to the warden of that jail. That warden, I mean, you know, Belair thought, like, whatever. I'm just going to write him. Nothing's going to come of it. That warden wrote him back and said, yeah, let's find a way to work together. Let's find a way to bring pickleball to these people. And thus, an impact was made. These are rival gangs who would never speak to each other. And somehow now, through pickleball, they are conversing. They are playing on the same team, quite literally, when it comes to the sport. Now, Belair has been doing this since 2017. According to NBC News, he has introduced this sport to more than 40 prisons across the country. In 2023, he went on, an 8-day trek where he went to a prison per day in the state of Florida. And the writer for the Washington Post, Rick Mays, I believe his name is pronounced, would write, Belair's convinced the sport could benefit them all. And it wasn't long before the inmates started to understand why. After he demonstrated how to serve, the prisoners spread across 2 courts and began tapping the ball back and forth over the net. There was laughter, encouragement, some gentle ribbing even. Patrick Mahoney, one prisoner's director of programs and reentry, would tell the Washington Post, so if we make a positive impact on somebody's health and wellness, we have made an impact on the potential of reducing recidivism within our agency. We know the importance of sports. It's a structured way to teach people healthy competition, teach them how to work in groups, how to work together, teamwork. Just like in regular society, it works very well in a prison setting. Another person, Leslie Pippin, a warden, also gave this quote, when people are idle, they get bored. That's when people get argumentative. They start looking for ways to break rules. When they have something positive to do, it keeps them out of trouble. And if there's the temptation of doing something wrong, the thought of losing something like this serves as a deterrent. Belair continues now, after a break during COVID when everything and everybody shut down. And the prisons did not allow him and many others to visit. He has resumed activities. It's business as usual. He says that he has never felt more fulfilled in his life and found a new purpose in his life. Doing this, seeing the benefits of even prisoners who our system takes advantage of, whether it is through slave-like conditions, where multi-billion-dollar companies can bend the 13th Amendment in their favor. He has shown that there is potentially light at the end of the tunnel, or for some who were interviewed that are serving life sentences for murder, that they also found somewhat of a new purpose. And one quote that will always stick out to me from one of those incarcerated who was serving a life sentence said, when you play, it feels like you're not in prison. Well, that hits pretty hard, doesn't it? Belair is a former VP in banking and an investment broker. So basically, how he would craft this to all these different wardens was, I'm going to pay for all this. I believe in the message. I have good intentions. I want to bring the sport to your inmates, but I will pay for my travel. And basically one warden said, well, if you say it's free, we're in. So he also gave this quote: "It's fun and rewarding. I've never done anything so satisfying in my life." So while we certainly do have our eyes on the blasphemous nature of one competitor, we also share the story of others and how it has made a positive impact in their lives. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports, and or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.